Hello, my name is Rubén Limas. I am at the school right now. I have been very busy at work, with the school as well, working a lot. And I have this shirt again because today Mexico plays at the World Cup. So the composer that I chose is his name is Gaspar Fernandez, and I chose him because he has a last name that sounds sort of Mexican. And besides the fact that he was a lot of time in Mexico and he also died in Mexico, I heard a song well, I heard a song that it is very upbeat. So basically his history is that this composer was a Portuguese organist and chapel who worked in Central America and Mexico in the late 1500s and early 1600s. Around 1590, he worked at Évora Cathedral, where he was paid both for singing and playing the organ. In 1599, sorry, in 1599, he was hired at Guatemala Cathedral as an organist and later became Maestro de Capilla, which gave him more responsibilities but a higher salary as well. In 1606, he moved to Puebla Cathedral, Puebla, Mexico, where he was in charge of the music, the choir, and teaching choir boys. His job was very demanding, and at times he had conflicts with the cathedral authorities, even being dismissed briefly, but he was later brought back. Later, he worked with other musicians like Juan Gutierrez de Padilla to help manage the music program. So, one of his most important works is a manuscript that includes chanzonetas and villancicos. This is one of the largest collection of early secular music from the New World, which makes him an important, very important figure in music history. So next, the piece that I chose is called Eso Rigor e Repente, which is obviously by Gaspar Fernandez. So this piece is written about the year 1600. What stood out to me the most was the rhythm, because it feels very energetic and almost dance-like. The piece has a polyphonic texture, which means that several voices are singing different musical lines at the same time, which sounds pretty good actually. So the melody are short and repetitive. I think its duration's about 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes and 50, something like that. I don't remember very good. So this helps to the music, making it easy to follow and remember. I still having it right here. The harmony is simple but effective, helping create a lively and festive mood. So in few words, the piece has a lot of movement and character, and it gives a good example of early colonial music in the Americas. In my opinion, Gaspar Fernandez's story is very interesting because it shows how a musician could have an important role in different places, not only in Europe but also in the Americas, as he did in Guatemala and Puebla. I find it very impressive that he moved from Portugal, as I said before, to become a important figure here in Mexico. I mean, there in Mexico and there in Guatemala as well. I also think that it is very amazing how much he worked and how many responsibilities he used to have, such as directing the choir, teaching choir boys, and composing music at the same time. So even though he faced problems like being diminished and then later brought back, he continued to be an important musician of his time. About the piece that I chose, which is Eso Rigor de Repente, I liked it because it feels energetic and emotional, as I also said before. Even though it is very old, it is interesting how music from that time can still feel engaging today. So it's something that I can hear a lot of times, and it also shows how music in the Americas has developing its own style while still being influenced by Europeans, people who come from Europe. So overall, I think his history shows that music in the colonial period was very organized and demanding. It also helps us understand how European musical traditions mixed with new influences in the Americas. Lastly, I wanted to say something. Oh, that is the research that I did, and also the music that I chose, that I listened to, reminds me to a song that we saw during the semester. I don't remember where exactly, but the song that it reminds me to is Ryu Ryu Chiu. That it's also a villancico, and I mean, by which it's also a villancico made in Europe. So that